Okay, I think all the notifications went off. Oh, I forgot to do the thingy. Hold on. Well, first I forgot to exist. Hello. But I also forgot to do the browser thingies. Hold on. Let me fix this. So that should be Twitch. And then YouTube's. Hold on. Yeah, there's YouTube's. Okay. There we go. Alright. Before actually I do that, there is a schedule. As usual, there's an update and everything. It's completely back to normal, so nothing. Oh shoot, I just moved something I should not have moved. Oh no, what did I move? Oh, I have so many. Where is me? There we go. There we go. Anyways, hello, welcome everybody to how's the music volume for the background? Sorry, I really distracted it today. My bad. Everybody to just sitting down, talking, chilling, relaxing, as the title is, before Spooky Month begins, and I lose my voice from all the screaming that will be happening and everything. But just chatting, just chilling today. Today's stream is probably going to be like at a normal time and everything. I have some stuff I have to do later on in the day, so we'll kind of see how everything goes. But yeah, nothing spectacular this stream. Just, you know, sitting down, catching up with you guys, seeing how everything's been for everybody. How's September? Also, hello, welcome Nako, Dance Master, Take the Fee, and Time to Buy. Welcome. How's September for everybody? Also, how's the music level? Is it okay? Is it good? I actually don't know. I think it's okay, right? But how has September been for everybody? I think we have one more stream for September on Monday, I believe, and then we are officially into Spooky Month from then. But we still have some serious games going on. We still have Valhalla that is still going on with the secrets and stuff like that, and extra stuff that we didn't do beforehand, and then we still have just to, you know, explore a little bit more and refine self instead of running around doing stupid stuff. And we also still have Persona 3 Reload, which, whoops. I was not expecting those to bleed into Spooky Month, but well, planning didn't go as well. I did not plan good. Rough month, glad it's over. Oh. Like rough as in busy rough, or rough as in like just it's been a row of bad things happening one right after the other kind of idea. September was a busy month for me. This month was really busy. Like today is, I think, like we're gonna be my last day of like busy for this month, which coincidentally is the last weekend for this month. But like today's gonna be my last final busy, hectic, out of the ordinary days. So after today, I'll finally be like, I can sit back and chill and calm down again. I'm gonna put my coffee over on the side. Let's hope I don't drop it. But yeah. I'm gonna assume the music volume is okay. I actually have my headphones on again so I'm actually listening to the music along with you guys. Most of the time during chatting streams, I always have my headphones off, and I'm never aware when like ads play in the background, and it's like, I hate it when ads do like, they have like copyrighted music or something in the background and like I don't pay attention to it or I don't hear the ad and it just happens and it's like, well, great, now my stream has a copyright claim. Music seems okay. Good. Focus on other things. Ah, I see. So it was a month of making some tough choices. Let's see. That's good. At least you figured out what needs to be done. It's always the most difficult. Well, there's two phases of that's usually difficult, right? It's one of trying to figure out what needs to be changed or anything of the sort. Or one, I would say, first it's acknowledging that something needs to be changed and things are not just working out as they are. And then second, it's trying to figure out what does need to be changed and what exactly that is. And then the third part is, of course, enacting that and keeping your fingers crossed that it actually will fix it. So I wish you luck on that, Tim. Hello, Richard Creep. Welcome. What spooky games you got lined up? All right, we'll talk about what Spooky Month is gonna be like. Spooky Month is gonna be a little different. I'm gonna say this time. I think we're gonna do a couple more reaction stuff for this month. So if you like reaction stuff, hooray! If you don't worry. We also have some video games we'll be playing as well. So there is that. Like one of the reaction I think I did mention was we're gonna watch the Mandela catalog is one of them, so we'll be doing that, and then some spooky games. Actually, some of you guys had recommended them over in the game suggestions on Discord. Where's Discord? There it is. Okay, over on Discord. Let me go see that quick. So yeah, so there's been a few games over on the Discord channel. So we also gonna have a survival of terror, obviously. If we haven't done that, and I want to say like almost, it's been, I think we're approaching it's been a long, ridiculously long time since we've done a survival of terror. Just hadn't gone around to really making one of those. Usually those are a little bit more planned and having to get like a list of games and things like that. So, so one of them is, where is it? That Silent Breath game is one of the games that was recommended for specifically Spooky Month. I actually sounded pretty interesting. It has some stuff to do with like picking up your microphone and stuff like that. So, and then we have some other stuff that are like smaller games of the sort for Spooky Month, or for, what is it called? Survival terror, which usually, if you don't know what survival terror is, it usually is like a huge list of short indie games that really I can't play on like a single stream because it'll take too long. Basically, if it's not over like an hour or even an hour and a half game, I usually put it into a survival and terror, especially if it's a scary game, just because if it's too short to really make a full stream out of, we'll have them grouped up. So that's technically what survival terror is this a bunch of different indie horror games that we have fun and play around with. So we'll be having one of those this Spooky Month, so that'll be coming up probably not till a little bit in the middle of it, and then that Silent Breath one was another interesting one. So if you guys have any recommendations for like short indie horror games or any of this, anything honestly, go ahead and put them in the game suggestions. This is now the time where I'm really focusing in on scary games. So, and then if it's still available, I've had it on my desktop forever. It's another game I want to pick up is Still Wakes the Deep. Apparently that one was actually a pretty good game as well. So we have some of those spooky ones, video game wise, that we'll be picking up. I believe there's even I think it's even recommended here too. It's another, it's like an RPG game that actually kind of caught my attention. Yeah, it is recommended here. The Witch's House, which is another interesting one. Spooky, kind of scary kind of idea. Anything you guys got scary, feel free to put them into the game suggestions. Like right now, that's where my eyes are looking at, so. So I'll be just doing some stuff like that, some reaction videos, like the Mandela catalog is definitely one of them that we'll be doing. And if specifically for Halloween, I have no idea. I have no idea what we'll be doing about that. So, you guys have anything you guys would like to recommend or something? I think it went 4 hours for me. Yeah, I've had that on my desktop forever. I just never really had gotten around to playing it. So, definitely that is one that has definitely caught my attention. Spookiness. Spooky and all that fun, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And then another game that was recommended that was a long time ago as well that I think is like an RPG style. I think this was technically one of the first game suggestions that I had on Discord. I remember talking about it and I can't remember what it's called. IB or something like that. It's literally I and B. IB, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's another like an RPG kind of style horror game that is another one that kind of caught my interest. So Fatum react streamer, and I was like watching some YouTubers that do the whole reaction kind of stuff and everything, and I'm like I complained about it before, right? That I myself don't really like doing reaction stuff too much because it feels like I'm ripping off the content. This is my own personal feeling for myself. If you guys do it for yourself, you like watching YouTube, that's fine. But for me, it's like if I was recording stuff and editing them, I would feel a lot better. But because I'm a live stream channel and just watching stuff and reacting to it that way, it feels like, especially when it's watching like the entire thing instead of like skipping through and looking like something very specific, like an ending to something or something like that, it makes me feel like I'm ripping off the content from somebody else, and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't like it. I don't. Most of the time I don't. I like watching the stuff. It is fascinating to watch, especially when we watch the King Pixel, is that his name? I can't remember. But the backroom stuff and the old video or stuff like that, like they're fun to watch and actually get to experience that world, because most of the time I would not actually sit down and watch the stuff, but because it's for stream, it does force me to sit down and be like, all right, let's watch this thing, and it's good. But at the same time, I have this feeling in me where I'm like, I just feel like I'm just putting my face over the thing and being like, it's mine now. And I know a lot of people like it, and so I don't know, maybe like as more time as I do it, I'll kind of be like, okay, you know what, I feel a bit better about that. But yeah, minutes unlocks in a way, and I do often, and that's why I pause so much within them and talk about them and go in depth and like look at everything and talk a lot throughout the videos and everything, is particularly for that reason. So it doesn't feel like I don't have any of my own original stuff to say into it and transform the content enough to make it not like I'm ripping it right off, right? So that's most of the time. If you ever get annoyed or anything to do with that if you watch the Backroom series and the oldest view, is that what it's called? I think so. That's why I'm trying to make it as I'm not ripping it off, and more as an engaging, different twist spin on it than just sitting there and watching the thing for the most of the time. And I get it. If like for some people, they don't like that kind of stuff. They don't like the constant pausing and being like, oh, just like let the thing kind of tell what it needs to do. And I agree with that. I do. As like, man, I want to just like let him talk for a minute and then speak. But at the same time, I think that's easier if it's a recorded video and somebody goes and edits it, right? because obviously there is a lot more time that is put into editing something than it is just a live stream. Not saying not saying that live streaming is its own kind of work. It definitely is very two different categories from recording a video and doing a live stream, right? Obviously when you're doing a recorded video, you have the mindset that like, okay, I can trim this out, I will be able to trim this out, and I have to make in time, and also can't have the videos for too terribly long because then it's too long of having to edit it and stuff like that, right? But when you're live streaming, it's like, all right, this is most of the time, it's like, all right, this is my time, how much are we going to be putting into it? Keep in mind, make sure I'm not tired through the entire thing, or don't get stuck in something, or anything like that, right? It's two very different types of work that needs to be done. But for I think when it comes to being able to edit stuff and then react to them, as like reacting to things and editing it, I think those, and most people, if you see them, they sit down and watch them and don't pause so often, is because of that. They do have their own way of, I mean, you do have the people that do sit down, I'm not gonna say anybody, but there are people that do just sit down and literally just watch the entire thing without, or little bits of like putting input in something. Most of the time they just talk over it. I think that's also the thing that gets me, is when people talk over the content that is playing instead of pausing it and then talking about it or whatever. Like, especially if it's just something small, then like, oh god, that's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, or something like that, that's fine. But when they're like, man, this character did this and that, and did A, B, and C, and talking about it while the video is still going, it's like, at least put effort in it. Sorry, it's my own thought process I have about these, so. Anyways. Alright, goodbye, Horace, but thank you for coming. Also, hello, welcome, Godrin and Eric. Welcome. But yeah, anyways, that's just my own thoughts about it. That's my own personal thoughts. If you guys do that, or anybody watches people that does that and everything, and enjoy the content and all that, that's fine. It doesn't matter. You're having fun watching content, go ahead. But for me personally, it's just a thing that I have with reaction stuff. Like, I like reacting to some of the stuff. It is really fun. The oldest view, besides me being sick and the majority of the beginning parts of that stream, it was actually very, very fun. But maybe I'll get used to it, right? Maybe the more I do it, maybe I'll start to kind of figure out like a flow for it and be like, all right, you know what? This is better. This is how I feel about it. Stuff like that. Anyways, then they just watch the thing themselves. And I kind of get it, where some people are like, when they do, and they like say like, oh, well, it's not the same when watching somebody else watch it and things like that. And I think most of the time it's a fear thing, which I completely understand, especially if it's watching something spooky. Like, me personally, I would never watch The Backroom, the Oldest View, or even the Mandela Catalog. It was just by myself. One, it's not my kind of thing for entertainment. I don't really like watching horror movies or anything like that, or any of that kind of category. I just don't like watching that kind of stuff. I don't even watch normal television. But if it was a fear part for me, watching stuff by myself for that reason, it'd be like, okay, that's not so much. But I think having other people to watch it with, or like, especially with me, I like to analyze the stuff, right? I like to think about like, oh, this is gonna happen here. Like, that doesn't make sense. Or I like analyzing things and trying to figure out pieces about it, or talk about different segments of it. And I think that's what makes it more entertaining. And in that way, if you just want to watch the story and everything, I'm not the person you're gonna want to watch for that. I'm gonna stop at every little thing and be like, all right, what does this little pixel thing here do? Why is that one pixel red when the others are blue? I don't know. It's just how I am. But that's what we'll be doing one of the times. We'll be watching Mandela Catalog. And there's something else that I want to watch during Spooky Month. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. It's saved in my playlist. Well, actually, it's saved on my phone, on the notes and everything. Another scary series. It's not like a really well-known one, at least from what I've seen. Like the Mandela Catalog or the Backroom kind of stuff. And I think it's Is that the one that I was said that it's the Five Nights at Freddy's VHS? Something like that. There's a couple of them that have kept my eye. So Spooky Month is going to be a very different month this year. Well, I definitely have a lot more reactions. Probably a lot short series games. I'm hoping short. And probably some also Survival of Terror. At the very least, one Survival of Terror. And things like that. So if you have any spooky games that you want to recommend, now is the time. I will be looking out on Discord big time for those. So that is my main focus. So anything that is going to be introduced for Spooky Month is going to be scary. So heads up about that. So laugh, you lose, challenge. You know I will lose in 5 seconds. Actually, you know, it's strange. I feel like most of the times, okay, well, we know exactly what would make me laugh. We know exactly what would make me laugh and lose that game instantly. But that's not very family friendly for YouTube. So, oh my god. Oh, hello everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Make sure. Have you played Cooking Friends? No, I have not. And also, what? And also, wait, what? Is a reason for a punishment wheel? God, I think the only time we've ever done a punishment thing was in Monster Hunter. I think it's like, if you want to get an idea, look at the last couple of Monster Hunter streams. Sunbreak, the DLC for it. We did like some challenges that we did. I can't remember what exactly the challenge was. I can't remember if it was like dying to the monster, like failing the mission completely or something like that. I can't remember what the category was. It was when I was trying to grind the game and then I just gave up. But we did do some challenges like that. Like, I think one of them was like having to do push-ups, which honestly, don't give me exercise stuff. It's not really a challenge for me to do exercise stuff, okay? I exercise regularly. That doesn't do much for me. It's like it's a challenge. It's like, not really. And especially when I do it on a daily basis, it's not really that difficult. But anyways, but I think I had to do a stupid poem thing because there was a character in that game that I liked a lot. Her name's Refrain, and I had to do a poem on the spot for her or something like that. There was a lot of weird stuff I had to do for that one. It was fun, but I think it's like one of the only chat. Oh no! I just remembered Uno. The only Uno stream I have ever done on the channel, there was a challenge on there, and it was like, if I won the game at 1,000 subscribers, I would have to play Getting Over It. But if I won the game, I think I set it. Why did I set it at 5,000? Why didn't I do 10,000? I am a fool. I am a fool. What have I done? I think I set it at 5,000. God dang it! Why did I do that? At 5,000 subscribers, it would be the Getting Over It. Thankfully, I won. That's the reason you haven't seen Getting Over It. Oh, shoot. I was a fool back then. Why didn't I set it at 10 or 100 or a million? Why did I do that? Oh, God. But yeah, if you want to watch that, I think that happened at the end of the only Uno stream I've ever done on the channel. I just want to play Uno again. That was actually very fun. It was a very, very fun game. It was only by myself when I had played it, but it's actually very fun. So okay, so Cooking Friends is messed up. I mean, fun and cute cooking game. Put it in the game suggestions area. Like I said, any spooky games you guys have right now, whether it's short, long, don't matter. Just put them in the game suggestions. Just flood the game suggestions right now with spooky games, okay? Put them in there. Put them in there. And if I played them already, I'll let you guys know. But put them in there. Put them in there. Whether they're from Itch.io, from Steam, put them in there. It's a great horror game for October. No. Oh, God. God, no. Oh. You guys know I don't do good with rage games. You guys know. You guys know. Oh, yeah. I have a funny story to talk about. So Thursday I didn't have stream, right? It's my day off. And surprisingly, like, so many things ended up happening on Thursday that I actually would have been well, it's actually, I say, if everything went normally, as the day was already, we'll say, destined to be, I could have actually been able to stream. But, as the world would have it, and a funny coincidence, I broke my phone. I had this phone, I mean, I can't remember how old the phone was. 2017, 2016. I had it for a really, really, really long time. And I have dropped that phone, I don't know how many times. I've dropped it on the street. I've dropped it so many times. And it never had a crack. But finally, I was making coffee. And I was playing my game on there, and I just had it on the thing, and I accidentally bumped it, and it landed face down onto the floor, and it's not a rough pavement or anything, it's just flat, but it broke it. It broke the phone, and not like it had a crack. That was the weirdest thing. It's not like my phone's, the screen had a crack or anything, but basically the screen dead. The phone is functional, besides the screen just being dead and has that weird glitching effect and all this stuff, and like the top part of the screen would have worked, but the bottom screen, basically it was technically unusable. So I had to deal with that all Thursday, I was trying to get it replaced. I mean, fixed. I was trying to get the screen replaced. Basically, the phone was, they basically sat down and they basically sat me down. It was like, all right, look, we would like to take your money, but also just get a new phone. I was like, oh, okay. They're like, it's too old. And the repair is gonna like cost you an arm and a leg just to repair the screen of it. And God forbid it breaks again and you need another part and it's like a year from now. It's you're gonna need to sell your organs for it. And I was like, all right. I appreciate the honesty. So I had to basically get a replacement for my phone, which I was not looking forward to, because I hate the whole having to set up the phone and everything that's come with it. And if you have all your pictures and all that, and that's the thing too, right? Is the screen being dead, like it was really hard to navigate onto that phone to try to even get anything sent over, which thankfully the people at the place were able to help me out and things like that. So yeah, I had to finally say goodbye to my phone. It lasted me for so many years. I had to put it to rest. I still have it. I have to turn it in soon. It was like a trade-in kind of offer they had for the phone, which thankfully, because God, that would have been really expensive. But yeah, I was sad. I had to deal with that. It took me forever. It took me like 4 hours, basically, to do all that. 4 or 5. It was a long time I was there, and I was like, man. Thankfully, today was just one of those weird days where, thankfully, it was the day that I wasn't streaming, and also everything else just kind of got called off, so I was really just had a day to myself. And I had all these things planned. I was like, alright, I'm going to do this for sure. I'm going to go out and do this and get this done, and I had all this stuff planned, and then my phone broke, and I was like, well, you ruined my plans. So, yeah. Who's rocking off the phone in 2024? Look, I hate having to get new phones. I do. You're allowed to suggest multiple games. Yes, you could suggest as many games as you want. Go ahead. I would just recommend spooky games right now. If they get I do look pretty far back into the list as well, in the game suggestions list, but most of the time, actually, I tend to look far back. Recommend any games. It doesn't matter. Just right now, I'm looking at spooky games right now, so that's my main category. Basically, just send a link to the game, like how most of them send a link to the game. It's easier for me to get to there and make sure that is the right game that I'm playing. It's just easier for me that way. So just put a link with the game link and everything, and that'll be good. But yeah, so I was really, really sad. But thankfully, everything that got transferred into my phone was good. It's just, now I have to get a new phone case because the phone case doesn't fit anymore. And I'm like, oh. I was like, dang it. So, Yeah. To have a single phone for more than 3 years. Really? See, a lot of my stuff, like the headphones I use for stream, I mean, we're talking... Toka, how old are you? It's around however old Toka is, which I've had her... Man, I want to say she's almost 6, 7? Toka's pretty old. She's getting up there. But my headphones are around that old. And literally, the cushion for one side is falling off. I even tell you, like, I have to have it at, like, the volume. It has its own volume thing on the string. And I have to have it at a certain level to actually hear out of both ears. Or it'll just go to one ear. Still have them. And then there's my mouse that we don't talk about. Look, it works, okay? It works, and as long as it continues to work, it's fine. I'm like that with most of my stuff. If it works, it's good. A lot of my shirts that I like, for instance, the shirt that I'm wearing right now, it's just a sleep shirt, right? There's sleep shirts, sleep shorts. That's the nice thing about doing the VTubing thing is you don't really need to get dressed. It's like right now, like my shirt doesn't have like obvious holes in it, but Toka got a hold of it. Sheesh, Marky. It's the loudest sneeze behind me. I don't know if you heard that. But yeah, so it doesn't have holes in it. Is your phone an Apple and Android? Android. I don't like Apple phones. I used to have an Apple phone. I used to have an iPhone 4. I'll go that far. Is that an iPhone 4? I still actually have it. I love it. Not that it really works anymore, but I still love it. I love the size of it. I like small phones. I really like small phones. But yeah, no, I don't like Apple. I've always preferred Android, and I like being able to like how you can do all the customization things on the home screen and like custom icons and all that kinds of stuff. And instead not having to do all the crazy stuff for Android just to do like, oh, I want to have I don't know. What's one of the... I can't even remember. Yeah, like, even just to have... I mean, maybe it's different now, but, like, Apple was such a pain. I hated Apple. I did not like Apple. I probably shouldn't say that. I mean, I have people that have Apple phones, and they're good. Just for me, personally, I've always just preferred Android phones. But, I mean, Apple's not bad. It's not a bad phone. It's just... I just prefer Android. I personally have. But, yeah. Is in her sleeping clothes with her desk full of half-eaten junk food. No, my desk is actually really clean right now. Except I see my yogurt container from yesterday. I mean, nothing. Actually, it's a healthy yogurt, so it's not junk food. I don't eat junk food, which... It's probably very surprising to most people. I don't eat junk food. I don't like junk food. Like, if I had the options of eating a bag of crisps or nothing, I'll most likely eat the nothing. I don't like junk food. I really don't. Like, we had pizza the other day, and I was not really, like, wanting it so much, and I was like, just give me a small one, and I freaked everyone out. They're like, what? The one who has an endless void of a stomach just got a small pizza. I don't know. I don't really care for... I mean, the only, like, stuff that I would eat that's not healthier, I guess, is instant ramen. Also, the time that's really when I'm like, I gotta go somewhere. Most of the time, I'm not usually that. I like it, like, other quick stuff I just eat is, like... soups or yogurts, but I keep my soups at a low sodium kind of stuff, and then the yogurts are your simple fit yogurt kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't really like junk food much. Now, if you throw chocolate in my face, now that's a different story. But yeah, no, I'm not. I never have been. But yeah, no. What you will find a lot on my desk is a lot of cups. I have this thing for some reason is I'm too lazy most of the time to go all the way back to my room, grab my cup, and then go all the way back to the kitchen to go fill it up. If I'm already in the kitchen, I'm like, oh shoot, I need a drink. I'll be like, well, I'm gonna begin growing my collection. So yeah, I actually don't have, like, right now my desk is actually pretty clean. It has a lot of other stuff on it. Like, I have my Gundam kit building stuff, and I have my Gundams on there. Then I have like my little knickknacks around the PC thing that I've been given by people and stuff like that. So little decorative stuff by my monitor. And then I have a pile of keychains that I've been meaning to go through, and I just have not gone through them. I love keychains. I am a sucker for keychains. Keychains, plushies, a plushie keychain, I'm sold. But I have so many keychains and I need to go through them. I have so many of them, I need to get rid of you. But yeah, no. And then I have my PS Vita up here, which I was playing with that earlier. And then medicine, because I'm old. Oh yeah, and I have a CD player with some music I was listening to. Yeah, that's about it. That's what's on my desk right now. And then coffee cup, normal drink cup, and other drink cup that's like 2 days old. Need to toss that out. I know. You know, I usually, I know like some people like when they like get up, like most of the time they have to like pull off their clothes and put on like their clothes for the day or something. Like no, for me, it's because I sleep in a normal t-shirt and shorts. I don't have proper sleepwear, like actual lounging wear and stuff like that. Like I don't. So I just walk around in this, and like I said, like the holes in this shirt are made by Toka, so they're like really tiny holes, and you really can't even tell. They're all over the shirt. Toka, you went to town on this thing. But yeah. And then something with my shorts. Thankfully, she hasn't gotten a hold of my shorts. Now that would be a different story. You didn't get a hold of my shorts, did you? But yeah. PS Vita gamer. I have a few games that's on here. I have the PSP and the PS Vita. I've been messing with the PS Vita a bit. I don't know. I like playing older games on like the older consoles. Like for instance, like I have the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP and stuff like that I will randomly play Pokemon whenever I feel like it randomly. So. And then for the PS Vita, there's like a Madoka Magica games that I had got like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, like a long time ago, and I played a little bit of it, and then I just never got a chance to play them again. So that's what I was kind of messing around with earlier. I was like, oh yeah, I have this. Have you played No One Lives on the Lighthouse? I don't think so. Game suggestions. Go flood the game suggestions. Anything that pops to your head and you're like, maybe, just go put them. Even if I might have played them, not, if you don't see them come up or anything, that probably means I have most likely played it. Or, who knows? It might be a case where I like, have I played it? I don't know. And then we might start thinking and be like, oh, I played this. Or maybe I just won't remember. I don't, especially a lot of short indie kind of games. There's so many of them that we had played on the Survival of Terror that I don't remember. So, hello Marlene, welcome. Milk or dark chocolate? Milk. I love milk chocolate. You know what the best ones are? I forgot the names. Oh, shoot. Cadbury, I think. Cadbury and Milka. That's one of the best brands of chocolate. Milk chocolate. I actually had a really good dark chocolate recently. I don't remember what brand it was, but it was a really good dark chocolate. I don't despise dark chocolate. I can like dark chocolate. It just have to be in the right mood for it. But most of the time it's milk chocolate. Like, milk chocolate you can have any time. Dark chocolate is like you have to be in a right mood for it. Now, if you're talking about white chocolate, then go out the door, please. No, God, no. That is a false chocolate, all right? Has those extra songs in it. The most documentary game for you have to dungeon level out the girls. I have 2 of them. I don't think that's the one. Honestly, I was still just I had to charge this thing and everything, and then I had to figure out how to navigate the beginning. It wanted me to do a whole sign-in thing like that. I'm like, did I accidentally kill you, or what happened? It literally has been probably 5 years since I touched the PS Vita, so I had to do that, and then I got to the game, and I clicked on it, got to the menu, and then I was like, oh, it's stream time. So I haven't got a chance to play it. But yeah, let me see. I have the cases for them. I have 2 of them. Let me see. Let me pull them. I think this is them. which one is this one then? So the one I have in the PS Vita right now is called the Battle Pentagram. I can't tell. This might look like a dungeon thingy. And the other one I have, which honestly I'm surprised I have. Maybe it came with it or like a deal. I don't remember the name of this show. It's kind of the same idea, like a magical girl kind of thing. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Because it doesn't have it in English, does it? No. Shoot, I don't remember what it is. Like, they have to do with, like, serving gods, and it's kind of like the same idea. I don't know. I'll take a picture of it, and then I'll send it on Discord so you guys can see it there. And then I have also, apparently, a PSP, which explains why I have that above the PlayStation. Interesting. And this one, I can't tell. It's really tiny and I don't have my glasses on. This one I think is more of like a multi-route story. Like the different choices you make actually affect the story outcome and everything. It's called Puella Magi Madoka Magica Portable, I think. So those are the ones I have. Let me take a picture of the other ones so I can show it. Actually, I'll take a picture of all of them so you guys can see. God, I hate grabbing my phone now. It's like it doesn't have the phone case on it. And I'm like, it's gonna die on me. Alright, let me take a picture of this one. Hold on. One of them. Two of them. Three of them. Okay. I'll send these on Discord so you guys can see them. Not enough time to figure out where. Is there like a game general or something? Well. I thought there was. Video games general. There we go. I'll put them in there. That one, and that one. There we go. They're in the video games general if you want to see them. But yeah. Oh. So. That's what I was enjoying. Anyways. What about Ruby Chocolate? Spooky monthy games such as, but my personal bias, Trauma Gacha. Okay, wait, what is that? What is your Trauma Gacha? Is the one I used to play. Yeah, because that's on the PSP, so you'll see 2 PS Vita games. I never played this other one. I remember watching this show like once or twice. Never actually played it though. I don't know. We should open it up and see what it is. But yeah. Stuff that I randomly find and I'm like, oh, I had this for like how many years? Alright, let's open this up again and let's see. Those games in English, or do you know Japanese? I know very little on how to read Japanese. Now, to have me speak it is a different thing. But to be able to read it, I can do that way better than actually being able to speak it. most of the time, that's actually, for me, what I usually do to learn a different language is I'll purchase a book in that language, and then, basically teach myself through that book, like using the internet and all sorts of things to figure out what each like thing says and words and context and all sorts of things. For me, I learned better in learning languages, and honestly learning a lot of things just through reading books like that. Like having to do programs for things, it's like oh, that's a different story. Like what was I was one of the things when I was learning to code and everything, when you would talk like having to do like proper courses for having to learn to code was always such a pain in the butt, until I had found like these people, and we were just like learning like how to mod different games and everything, and they were teaching me that way, and immediately I was able to pick it up quicker, and I was like, oh, this is better. I know what I'm doing now. So I was like, how did I do the courses? I was like, oh yeah, this, and I was like, oh, it's easy. Which is interesting, because when I was younger, it used to be the other ways. I could learn better from a book and like actual like classes teaching that way, rather than hands-on experience learning and things. But things ended up changing as I got older. I don't know what happened. What happened to brain? God is a victory is true. Look, I have my own gotcha pain too, alright? I think I mentioned before, I play Honkai Star Rail, okay? I know gotcha pain, alright? I know gotcha pain to the extreme. Right now, there's those two characters out that I really, really like, and I was able, what it is for me is what I learned. I played so many gacha games, like even with my big one was like the Madoka Magica one, which they ended their service recently, and it's so sad. I mean, I hadn't touched it in like over a year, but also I was still so sad. But what it is for me with gacha games is that most of the time when I'm going into a game, I already kind of like I'll tell you, like with Honkai, my main reason for going into the game and playing it is because the two characters that I saw, Black Swan and Acheron, and I was like, yes, those are the two characters I want. I got very lucky, as right when I had joined into the game, Acheron was the current banner out, so I immediately got her, and I didn't even know like how things were gonna go, if I was gonna enjoy the game or not, but I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then as like time progressed, I was like, all right, now Black Swan is the other one that I want to get, and then I remembered another character, and I was like, oh yeah, that other character. So that's what I had been waiting for so many months, all the way back in April, and finally those two banners released, of course, at the same time. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew they were gonna somehow release those two at the same time. What did they do? They released them both at the same time. So yeah, that's the pain I was going through right now. But it's fine. It's fine. It's like, who knows how long you have to wait again for them to release. It's not the gacha rates that cause the trauma, it's the story itself. Oh, this have traumatizing stories in the games, and some I especially, it's always hard, right, when a gacha game has like really traumatic stories, and you have like some of the characters that are in the gacha pool, so most of the time they won't kill them because they're afraid that it'll lose popularity with the character. Most people won't want to roll for the character because they're dead and therefore have no more really, I mean, they'll have story significance, but they're not alive, and so you won't see them throughout the entire game. It'd be like, I want them, or something like that. But when a gacha game doesn't hold any punches, and just like, you know what, this character you love, dead. It's like, no. That is painful. I just went to Kafka and got her. I have her too. Like, the thing that's terrible too is okay, so like obviously for a lot of gacha games, right, you have to get them the same character multiple times if you want them to be stronger. They unlock certain things and stuff like that. With Honkai Star Rail, they even have another thing where, even some other gacha games I played too have the same thing, where they have like cards that are unique to them, and they add like different power ups, and also those cards themselves also have like, if you get duplicates of them, it makes them more powerful, all these sorts of things, right, just to keep themselves in business, and have you always that like, just getting them isn't enough, you want to make it strong and all that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, That's, for me, I was like, I have them, I'm happy, and now I can go back and crawl into my corner and be very happy, and I'm good. It is pretty meh. I'd say the Honkai Star Rail story, I really liked... See, I was a fool in the beginning, and I completely skipped, like, the first 3 chapters because I just wanted to get to the Penacony place. That's all that mattered to me. And, so I really didn't get to... I didn't really read the first 3 chapters, basically, like, the each worlds and everything. But, yeah, I hate the signature light cones. Oh, yeah, I do, too. Don't worry, I hate them, too. I hate them, too, but it's like, god dang it, I just want to focus on getting the character. But I'm usually the player that I will save all my stuff for those characters that I specifically want, no matter what. No matter the temptation, you can dangle another character in front of me. I'm like, no, I'm dedicated. And then once I get there, I look back and be like, god dang it, why was I dedicated? Right now, though, I'm content. I'm happy. Of course, you want to make them stronger, but at the same time, it's like, I'm content. I'll be happy with what I have. But I really like the Penacony story. Right now, the Honkai Star Rail story is meh. Meh. I don't like the I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's called. The Lafu story thing. That's a different thing. But yeah, no, I didn't like the Lafu stuff. The recent story was me. I really like the Penacony. I'm excited for what seems to be coming up. Apparently, it might get pretty interesting. We'll see. We'll see. Poke on occasion, but I'm getting distracted. I sure lost. See, that was my case with Genshin. I had played Genshin like back when it was pretty popular, and I tried to play it, and I couldn't get past the first world because 1, I got lost, 2, I didn't care enough, and 3, I was like, meh. So I ended up just not playing it. But yeah, no. Honkai's been pretty... I mean, there's 2 Honkais, right? There's Honkai Impact and then there's Honkai Star Rail. I've never played it, Impact. I do want to try it, though. But, apparently, if you want tears, that's the game to play. It's what I've heard. I have been told that every time I was like, yeah, it's the Honkai Impact edition. And they're like, prepare to cry. And I was like, alright, traumatize me already. But... yeah, right now I've been enjoying that. It's nice because, like I say, any game that has like an auto system and stuff like that will really keep me engaged because most of the time I just have them on in the background and then do other stuff at the same time. So thankfully that's what this game has, so it works out well. But yeah, gotchas. It's kind of interesting how that whole concept kind of stuck, right? Especially with mobile games, that they ended up really sticking. Which is good? Bad? I don't know. When a good gacha story just played. Oh yeah, no, I've played Fate Grand Order. Don't worry, I've played that. It is a good story. Very, very good story. It's a similar vibe to Nier and Nikki. So, Nier is actually a game I want to play. I think I even have it on my Steam list something. Nier Automata or something like that. I can't remember which one, but Nier is definitely another game that I do want to play. I've seen it. I've mentioned it before. I've been wanting to play it. So like games that I have on my list that I want to play, right? Let's go over that. The Dark Souls series, I definitely want to play. I'm curious about it. The pain, the suffering, everything. Then Nier is another one. I think it's called Automata. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of those. And then eventually Fallout 4 is another one that I did say we would be picking up as well. If you play Replicant first, okay. So play Replicant before Automata. It's a heavy game, lovely. Oh god. Oh no, okay. obviously the Five Nights at Freddy's games, which I don't know if we'll be picking up, because I think the next Five Nights at Freddy's game that we have to in our going through them and everything, I think is Five Nights at Freddy's 4. I don't know if we'll start that in Spooky Month or if I'm gonna wait till November to do it, just because Spooky Month might be really crowded. And it doesn't help us, we still have like 3 other games that we're playing. I mean, I don't think Refine Self is gonna take 2 more streams. I think it's just gonna be the 1 more stream, just kind of going over things that, you know, I missed because I was just touch. And then Valhalla, we're just going over the secrets for that game, so it shouldn't take too long. And I think we're getting closer to the end of the Persona 3 reload. Maybe. I don't know. I think we're getting closer, but it could be very much that we're not. I don't know for that one. A joke ending in Drakengard? Really? What is Drakengard? Is it another, like, kind of style game like that? See, I know nothing about Nier. I know nothing about that whole stuff. I saw it once and I was like, that looks interesting. I've seen those characters before and that was it. Existentialist philosophy? Oh god, okay, oh god. Is way after a weekend, but some things will make a bit more sense. I guess we'll see when we get to that. We'll see. What does that mean when people say it's the goat? What does that mean? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Is that... I don't understand that. Are goats good? I mean, I like goat milk, but... is something being goat good? Like, what does that mean? Greatest of all time. Ah, okay. Plays like a tank. What is to be? What is to be? Like, what are we talking about with to be? To be is the main character. Oh, okay. She makes money, a lot of money. I mean, I think I've seen her everywhere. To be in Smash Bros. Does anybody play like any like online multiplayer kind of games? Well, if so, what kind of games what kind of game is it? And what system? Just curious. I'm curious. I haven't really played like an online multiplayer game besides like on my own, not with stream and everything, in a long time. Good thing. Man, alright, you know, guys, I think I know what next game we might be playing, for no particular reason. I was not expecting that. Oh my god. It's not a tragedy. Let's see about being bad on purpose. Things like Warhammer. Like, I don't... I honestly don't know what Final Fantasy 14. I don't know, like, what would you guys categorize as, like, multiplayer online games? Like, for me, I would think of those as being, like, I don't know, like Rocket League and Valorant and Call of Duty and stuff like that. When you climb the ladder, you'll see. That's good. It's very good, very good. Into Deep Rock Galactic tonight. So happy. What is that? What is Deep Rock Galactic? Oh, is that the one where you go down as a team and you're trying to collect like different material and you have like some enemies that come in and attack you and you have like different people that are different categories for stuff like a tank or like a defense or those that dig and stuff like that? Is that what that is? Yes, yes, I think I've seen that. I think I have seen that. That was actually, so I have 2 games that I plan on adding for the membership stuff and stuff like that. And there was that one, and also Escape the Backroom was another one that I was thinking of adding as different alternatives to the membership streams. That's right. Space Wars. Yeah. I saw that one, like... God, I saw that one a long time ago with... I can't remember what YouTubers I was watching that played it. No. Was it worse pre-made? I can't remember. I was like, YouTubers I had watched that had played it, and I was like, ooh, interesting. And then I forgot the name of it. So that's what it is. Okay. I haven't played them. It's genuinely so fun. Limited to 4 people is great. I feel like we're having one of these moments again where chat is convincing me. I mean, you know, like most of the games you guys actually like recommended everything to play have been really, really good. Very fun. Oh yeah, for those of you that like Rain World, didn't the DLC for it, Downpour or something, get a release date for March, I think, or something in 2025. Also, if you don't know, I think I mentioned in the previous stream that well, I forgot the name of it. Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut just got a release date for it, which is going to be the 25th of October, I believe, or something like that. So, hey, if you like that kind of stuff and that's fun to you, then that'll be I'll probably be picking that up as soon as it comes out too. So that'll be fun. Slay the Princess. A lot of stuff is coming out for that game, including like a new chapters, I believe, and then a lot of other stuff as well. So that'll be coming out soon, which will be very fun if you enjoy that game. If you haven't seen it, I recommend going to either watch it or go play it yourself. It's very, very fun. We played it on the channel. Eventually. That's the thing, like, I would... like a lot of the gacha games have really good stories. Like they actually do have really entertaining stories and a lot of work put into them. Where I expect, especially with the Honkai Star Rail one. I mean, you could say what you want about most of the stories and everything like that, but actually, like fully voice acted and like a lot of them have like cutscenes and everything too. It actually makes it pretty engaging, especially if it's your first time kind of going through them. It's kind of like a little bit of like, oh, what's happening and things like that. And I really would like to play them, but also at the same time, it's really hard to play like a live service kind of game on stream. At least in my mind it is. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one day I'll give it a shot, see how it is and all this stuff, and see if you're like, okay, you know what, we'll do it. Because like the whole idea is that you have to wait so many months for the next story to come out, and then you have to grind kind of to get materials and level up and stuff like that, right? The money has to go somewhere. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, so that's just so for Downpour, I think the release date was March, or I read something about it having an official release date in 2025 for sure. And then the Slay the Princes is going to be on October 25th, which will be very fun as well. So yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. World of Horror. That's another game that I heard of. Sorry if I scared anyone. I'm so sorry if I scared everyone. I just saw my dog jump behind me. I'm like, oopsies. That was another game that I was thinking of wanting to play. Somebody was actually showing me some games. We were going over them recently, and they were like, oh yeah, have you heard of this game called World of Horror? And I was like, no, but it sounds interesting. So that was another game that caught my attention. Let's see if I can find it on Steam. Let me see. World of Horror. Yeah, it's on here. Oh, it's on my wish list. I already had it on there. Yeah, this is another one because it has like, yeah, it's inspired kind of with Junji Ito and H.P. Lovecraft, which are two horror authors that I absolutely love so much. So we might be playing that game as well. So I think I even saw it on the game suggestions. So that might be pretty fun to play. It's an interesting game, really cool variety, but parts of it are very frustrating. Yeah, I had saw Escape the Backrooms, and actually my cousin had actually also recommended that one to me. They were watching their friends playing it and everything, and they were having a good time, and they were talking about it, and I was like, you know, it sounds interesting. I kind of just wanted to add more of different lists of games, because, I mean, we really don't have Phasmophobia too much anymore. I mean, the game actually did get an update. I think they even added, like, a new place called the Lighthouse or something, but yeah. 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 That game. So I am totally spooked. Hello, Chase Bucks, welcome. Yeah, that was another game that actually caught my attention, which if you ever seen works from H.P. Lovecraft or Junji Ito, then you know how those are usually, which pretty good, so maybe that'll be also something we'll start off as well. Hello, Dazzy, welcome. But yeah, so we have a long list of games that I like to get to. Usually when we have pretty like long series games, which I enjoy. I do actually enjoy the long series games and everything. It's actually really nice too. It's like, oh shoot, this game's gonna end soon. I need another game. Ah. Oh, when I'm in long series games, they actually help out a lot and be like, ah, nice. Instead I don't have to go around and figure out what next game we're gonna play or anything like that. But it also does make a backlog of games wanting to play, so Also, for the poll for games that we'll be playing together, those of you that are part of the Believer and Believe Us tiers in the membership, that'll be later on. Actually, I probably, as soon as I'm able to, like I said, today's going to be a very long day for me, and then who knows what tomorrow's going to be for me. So as soon as I'm able to, I'll have the poll up so you guys have a chance to vote upon it and everything of what we will be playing together. So probably, I don't know if I'll add both of those games, the Deep Rock Galactic and Escape the Backrooms, in the same list, or give one for 1 month and then the other one the other month. I don't know. We'll see. We'll kind of see what I end up deciding from that, but that'll be soon. So in a couple days or even a day, I'll have the poll up for that. Yeah. Also, a reminder, because I forgot to do it earlier, there is a new way to help support the channel if you would like to help out in any way. Down in the description, the very first link there is a different way to donate to the channel. This way, YouTube won't take a cut, and all of it would go to me instead of YouTube taking, what is it, like a 30% or something like that? But anyways, it's down in the description if you want to try it out that way. It'd be very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah. DRG is on a big sale right now? What's DRG? Oh, is that the other game we're talking about? The Drakengard? The heck? Why did my chat thingy get disconnected? Can you reconnect? Is my internet okay? My internet's fine. Successfully connected. That was weird. I saw that happen too. Yes, the other day. Yesterday actually. Was it yesterday? Yes. Right? What's today? One of my days. Oh God. I saw that the chat had got disconnected and it got connected again in the middle of stream, which I don't know why it's doing that. So, I mean, YouTube isn't having difficulties, is it? No. Interesting. The time is now. You're right! Dang it! Oh, God. I'm sorry if I sound a little tired. I very much am. I did not get sleep at all and kind of been running around getting stuff done and things like that. So I apologize if I sound a little tired this stream. I was trying to sleep and everything, but my dogs decided now is the time to howl, and I was like, God dang it. So I'm sorry if I'm a little tired. I am tired. I am very, very, very tired. So, so much to do. It's fine. It's like, I don't know if you ever, it's kind of funny. I joke about this with my parents, but it always seems like we have weekends where nothing is going on at all. Like, it's completely empty. Like, a completely empty weekend. Nothing is happening at all. And then all of a sudden, you think, oh, we just have this one thing coming up. No, we have 2 things. We have 3 things. We have 4 things happening in the same weekend. And it's like, why? It's this weekend for me. I have so many things this weekend. Something we've had planned forever. Something else that somebody's like, we're doing this. And we're like, oh, God, okay. And then somebody else is like, you know what? I'm doing this too. And we're like, why? Why did you think that was a good idea? So, yeah, this weekend is pretty hectic. It's gonna be. It is. Oh, oh, just thinking about it. I'm actually really happy, though, because, if you don't know, I'm really close to my uncle, and he's in town, so I'm very, very happy. We'll be seeing him later on, so I'm excited to see him again. So, that's a good thing I'm excited for. He's the one that I'm very jealous of because he got to play. He has a PlayStation 5, so he got to play it. I think he did play it. I'll talk with him again, see if he did the Stella Blade or something. And I want to play so bad, but I don't have a PlayStation. Although I think they announced PC released or something like that. I don't remember, but it's not fair. Although this near tomato, or you know, even it has the same character on me. Kidding. It's the calm before the storm. It really is. It really is. It does. It feels like it. I always joke about it, and it's like it doesn't really feel like it until it happens, and you're like, man. Everybody just decided, he's like, you know what? I have an idea. Let's just jam pack this one weekend and see what happens. Stop. I do want to play it. Look, for no other reason than other than it looks like a fantastic game. What other reason could there, you know, possibly be? Trusting to celebrate. I still can't get over with. I think it was it the last Valhalla stream? I think I was talking about like not liking the feeling of being drunk and all that, and I was talking about like what had happened to me like a couple days ago, that I had just like got up from bed and everything and was just going to the bathroom and I couldn't walk straight, and I actually like ended up just like leaning into the wall and my vision was going dark and it was like, well, dying. But I was talking about like I couldn't go straight or something, and you guys made a joke about that, and I was like, huh. It's like, huh, huh, yeah. I don't know what possessed me to be drawn to Stellar Blade. It just looks like a really good game with some really nice graphics and just really nice graphics, okay? Just really nice, alright? Just, I will say that was a very, very funny joke in Valhalla. It's very good. The looks are fantastic. Exactly. That's, yes. Exactly. The game of culture, to be sure. Of course it is. This is, of course, as, Yep. It's, yeah. Definitely. That's, Yep. Yeah, culture. That's, yeah. But it actually does look fascinating for multiple reasons, but it does. I need to talk with my uncle, because I think he did play it. Ask him the gameplay of it and other things. But yeah. And it was kind of funny too. I actually do remember that conversation when I was first talking with my uncle about it. And he was like, you would love that game. And I'm like, I know what you want to say. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him. I saw him like about 2 weeks ago on the weekend when we were out of town and everything, but I don't know, it's different. I don't know if you guys have ever had that, like you have somebody that you miss and you're very close to and everything, they don't live in the same town you do, and when you see them somewhere else, it's not the same as seeing them back home, right? I don't know, like for me it's very different. So I'm excited though. I'm excited. A game of culture. I mean, I think like I mentioned on the previous stream, actually Actually, you know, I just got reminded of something. For those of you that are fans of Valhalla, so you guys know I don't own social media, so a lot of things that I learned, I actually learned from my cousins, because some of them actually watch my videos and everything, so they pay attention. Which, if you're watching right now, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I crush everyone's view of who I am. Let me see if I can find it. They recently showed me something on one of the social media stuff thingies. God, I sound old. How do I look this up? If I go here, and then if I go, sure. How do you see stuff right here? If I go here, maybe? Yeah. How do I see? Where did they show me it? Here. So let me see if I can find it. I'll put it in the description so you guys, if you guys are a fan of Valhalla, you'll, just to spread awareness that this thing exists. Is that a good thing to copy? Yeah, that'll work. Alright. So this is on one of the site thingies. It's a thingy that somebody made, like on art, like one of those pillow things, like body pillow thingies. I'll just put it as this. If you guys are interested in it. That is not how you spell that, but you guys get it. If you guys want to see it, it's over on there if you want to check it out. It's in the description if you want to see it. Just in case if any of you are interested in it. My cousins have brought it to my attention, so I was like, hey, you know what? I'll share this in case any of you want anything to do with it. They have other stuff too that they make up other things as well, but it's there in the description if you want to check it out. It's one of those. What are they actually called? What do they call them? They call them something interesting. Difoku, something like that, right? Body pillow thingies. You added a donation. Yeah, reminder again. Those of you that would like to help support the channel, in a way that YouTube doesn't take a cut or any of that stuff, or even don't want to make it loud or anything on the chat, there's a link down in the description. It's the very first link. It's through Streamlabs, but it's also, you can do it through PayPal or other ways as well, and in that way it'll all go to me, and very much appreciate it. Help support stuff like that, get games and not have to worry about them, the DLCs and all sorts of like that. So, amazing. Does it alert? Doesn't alert onto the channel. Like I said, I don't personally care for streams that really have like all the fancy stuff and everything that does the whole alerts and all that. So it's not like that. It doesn't have an alert. It does, you can do, what I saw from it is you can do like little like messages or like animated emotes or things like that, and I believe it'll actually show it to me on my side, but it won't do anything through on the stream or anything. Dakimakura? Interesting. But you know, Yeah. It's kind of funny, like sometimes like cousins I'll just be there and they're like, hey look, there's this thing, and I'm like, that's right, you guys watch my stuff. It'd be amazing if it showed. Maybe if it, maybe I would set it up for like if we were doing the chatting streams. It's just most of the time I just don't care for it when we're doing like, especially like story-based games and things like that. I feel like it just takes away from the experience of watching it. So for me personally, I don't care for stuff like that that shows up and on the screen and messes with the flow of the game. But if it's for a chatting stream, I probably will set it up like that. But what you're saying is we can use it to jump scare you while playing spooky games. No, it'll just send it to me, but it'll be on my side, but it won't show on screen for you guys. Yeah, but probably if anything, I'll have it set up like that for the chatting streams, which I'll try to figure out how to do that because I have it through. I have it a different way through on Streamlabs, so we'll see. We'll see. Just for now, it's just another option if you guys want to donate and help support and things like that. Which will be very much appreciated. It does help out a lot. Dual body pillow. Yep. Yeah. It's kind of funny because I was with my grandmother and we were just sitting there too, and I was talking with her and everything, and I just like felt the poke on my side, and I was like, yes, and they just showed me on their phone, and I was like, poor grandmother was probably seeing this and it was like, grandchild. And be like, ah. I don't know. Do you have one? No, I don't have one. I don't have a body pillow or anything like that. I want one. I do. I have plushies. I have like large plushies that I like cuddling up with and everything. I've never had a body pillow though, and sometimes I end up I do that sometimes with my poor pillow. I'll wake up suddenly and be like, oh, my neck hurts so bad. Why? And I see my pillow in my arms. I'm like, well, that's why. Imagine the suffering that would ensue with the addition of sound alerts. So, I mean, there is a way you can do it through a third-party site and everything. It's just, like I said, especially for games that are, like, most of the games we play are, like, story-focused and things like that. For me, personally, it's also the reason why I don't have the chat showing on screen, right? Is I don't like that, especially when, like, rewatching it from, not a live playthrough and stuff like that. To me, it's annoying. It's annoying to see and everything, and kind of takes away from it. Just for me personally, and that's the reason why I don't have it like that. So, but if I did have the alerts and everything, it would probably just be for chatting streams, or maybe just random games that aren't like a story based or anything. Like probably like a survival or terror kind of idea, right? Something specifically that's meant to be just spooky and really doesn't have a story to it, and just have you guys try to scare me. You'll not have a twin. God, no! None of you buy it thinking. None of you buy it thinking that's my twin. God, so recently, my mom was going through my YouTube channel, which sometimes I hold my breath in every single time she does. I'm like, oh my god, please, nothing bad. And she saw the thumbnail with the optional car routine that I had with Jill on there, and she literally looked at me and she's like, oh, that's really cool. How did you make that of you? And I was just like, mom, that's not, mom, please no. Buy the pillow. Apparently the seller actually was doing really good. I was looking at the page and everything. They're actually doing pretty good. Apparently their first batch sold out, and now this is the second batch that's gonna, because I think, what did I read? First batch was November or October, I think. I don't remember. But the second batch is in December, so chill to my Fatum. It's an interesting style, at least in the current YouTube trends. I like the immersion. What exactly do you mean, Temtebe? What are you talking about? I am all over the place. I don't know what's happening. And coming up with your twin beverage. Oh God, no! Oh God. Find a third game with a Fatum lookalike for a triplet. Oh God, it's like I can't even deny it at this point. Oh God. Yeah, I have a twin. Apparently. Long lost sibling I never knew I had. But yeah, when my mom was like, oh cool, how did you do that? How did you get yourself? I was like, Mom, 1, people don't know how I actually look like in real life. And 2, that's not me. How about chat on screen? Notifications popping up. Basically maximizing user interaction. Ah, okay. YouTube trends. Yeah, I mean, I see it a lot, and so, okay, so I will say the recent live streams that I've kind of been watching is from Toasty Games, which is Cinnamon Toast Ken, that channel. Kind of what I've been watching recently, and like I say, I was watching a lot of his videos, and he does a lot of reaction stuff on his main channel, and he has them edited and everything, and it's interesting. I was kind of just I was also getting an idea of how things work, and I was like, interesting. But like I watched a lot of the Toasty Games for the gameplay of the stuff like that. It's just fun to have it on in the background and just to listen. But like for me, and he has the same kind of like setup that I usually have, where it's just him and the game. It doesn't have the chat up, doesn't have like the donation alerts or anything like that. It's just that's just how the screen is. That's how it is. And obviously, yes, he does edit the videos and everything, so that probably is a major reason as to why not having all that stuff, so it can be easier for edits for YouTube and shorts and stuff like that, right? But for me personally, like I have the live chat that's up off onto the side, and just looking at it that way, and yeah, he does play multiplayer games with friends, but also plays it like by himself and things. And I just always preferred that style from a watching standpoint. And for me, I guess for me, my whole thing is like I want to create something that I know I myself enjoy and proud of, kind of, right? Like I'm not gonna make something that I myself would not be like, that's okay, I'm not for me kind of idea. And I usually don't care for the whole having the chats on screen and the alerts popping up and all that. Like for me, it takes away from the immersion of the game that creates, especially for story telling games and things like that. Like for like here on like chatting streams, I have no problem with it, because I mean, that's the whole point of a chatting stream, right? Or you can just have it on to the background, and it's not like you have a noise interference or anything like that, like a random loud pop-up that comes out of nowhere or anything like that. You just have me screaming into your ears just randomly. But that's just, and then and I could kind of see it with like we're playing a horror game that specifically is kind of made just for like jump scares kind of things, and it's not so much like a story kind of any idea or anything like that. So yeah, it's just how I prefer things, and it is very minimalist. It is, don't get me wrong, it's nice, especially as like I don't have something that goes wrong and I'm like, oh shoot, well I have to go through this, figure out with this system and see if it's this program or is it this program, or all sorts of things, right? But also just I just prefer the layout. I prefer it having a focus to the story, people having the option of whether they want to have the live chat up or they don't want to have the live chat up. It's up to them, and not being forced to have it on the screen or have a random alert that gets loud and who knows, maybe interrupts whatever the streamer is talking about, or interrupts. If you guys donate on through YouTube or anything like that, of course I will take the time to read it, because it is an appreciation of you guys helping support the channel, and it is a trade-off that kind of has to happen, because yes, I appreciate it, and also at the same time, those that donated or helped support the channel in that way, it's just the proper way to say thank you. But also, it's not going to be blown into your face if you're rewatching it and just curious for the streamer's reaction, or you just like that specific streamer and just wanting to see like their reaction to the stuff and everything, and or hey, like I wonder what chat was talking about because they said that chat said something about this, and then can go through and look on their own instead of being it forced into their face on the screen and taken away from that. It's just how I prefer it. It's how I prefer it, and the reason why you don't see the live chat on the screen or during games, or why I don't have alerts and everything and things like that is it's for that reason. When I had got the new PC, I was thinking of adding it. I had looked up like different things and I was like, okay, we can add it this way. And then when I really thought about it, I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. Start spamming sound alerts and emoji bursts in the middle of the story bits. Has changed a bit. It might just be right now I'm kind of a bit tired. So I'm not really like, hey, what's going on? It does so sorry. And also kind of how it is when I guess you could say when I'm not like talking within a game or going around and stuff like that, like just the simple sitting down and talking. So just kind of has my voice like this right now. Who knows? Maybe my voice has changed a bit or anything. Recently got told that I look taller and I was like, I shouldn't be growing. It's concerning if I am. Imagine if your family plays Valhalla and accidentally calls you Jill because of it. God, that would be terrible. God, you know what's absolutely hilarious is I love it when people say that I have a voice changer on or something, and that's why the microphone. It's the most hilarious thing to me when I hear or see comments about that. I'm like, you think I have the time and effort to go in? Have you seen the? I don't know. I find it hilarious about the whole voice changer things and everything. Like sometimes I want to mess with a voice changer just to have like the when we're doing the voices of characters and things like that, right? To make them more distinct, because I can't do male voices and stuff like that. But I see him sometimes and I'm like, man, I kind of wish I was, because that would be a lot of dedication. It's funny. Chat on screen notifications Pokemon. Oh yeah. That would be bad. That would be bad. I just... Thankfully, majority of my family members don't play video games like that. Or play video games, really. So, thankfully, I will probably be saved by it unless I meet somebody that has played Valhalla. Which I've never had! I will keep my fingers crossed. Oh, yeah. A voice changer for virtual tabletop games. If you had a voice changer, you would have accidentally revealed that a long time ago. You're not wrong. I would have 100% accidentally like, ah! And also, like, at the end of the day, I think back to that. I'm like, what does it matter if I did have a voice changer, right? Or what does it matter? The voice that it changes too, does it... Like, I would choose a completely different voice if I did a voice changer. I don't know. Maybe it's the whole idea that people are like, oh, it's just it's a guy pretending to be a girl or something like that. I don't know. Not that I don't care. I forgot to see if this is on loop. Is it on loop? It is. Good. Oh yeah, so I was talking about this stream. So I'm not going to be streaming for too terribly long. I know it's usually kind of like sometimes our chatting streams go for like an extra hour or 2 hours. But this one, I'm not going to do too terribly long, because like I said, I do have some things that I kind of have to get to and everything, and I would like to... I'm usually super exhausted after streams, and especially chatting streams. I don't know why! Of all streams, chatting streams really take a lot out of me. Unless it's a horror game, which those can get me too. So I know we've been doing, like, talking about a story, at the end of, like, the last hour of stream, so when that hour kind of comes up, then I'll go ahead and get started with that. So just a heads up about that. So if you have any questions whatsoever for me, whether it's for Spooky Month, whether it's just for me for the channel, or anything at all, go ahead, feel free to ask them right now. Now's your chance to. Are a bit limited right now. It's fun to use them to skinwalk your friends, though. I don't really affect them. Humans are strange creatures. Yep. Humans are strange creatures. Very strange. There's, like, so many things that I can go into topics about that. It's like, it always ranges from, like, people that talk about things that they put an opinion on, but yet it has nothing to do with them and it has no effect to them, and they can't relate to the other person. So it's like, but my opinion is this. It's like, your opinion really doesn't matter because it doesn't affect you, or has I don't know. It's interesting. What games are on the plate for Spooky Month? So we got a lot of games. What's the way we're going over? Still Wakes is one of them. Still Wakes the Deep, I should specify. World of Horror is another one that I like to get to. We got a Survival Terror list that we want to get to. A Silent Breath. And also, I would recommend right now going to the game suggestions, recommending whether I've played it or not. If you don't know if I have or not, just go ahead and put them in there. If they're short, do mention that they're short. I mean, we're talking like 30 hours max kind of idea, so I know to group that with a Survival Terror. If you don't know what Survival Terror is, basically it's a bunch of random short scary games that I put it all into one stream that really don't have enough substance in it to be its own kind of stream. So right now, that's what I'm looking at game suggestions for, is for scary games. You can put whatever you want, but that's what I'm looking at right now, so just a heads up about that. Hello, Killboy! Welcome! Halloween is coming up. Right! I know! All the holidays are coming up. So yeah, we got a lot. And then we also... I assume you mean 30 minutes and hours. Yeah, sorry. I should probably specify that. Yeah. I mean, if it's something that's like an hour and a half or like 2 hours or something, then you don't need to specify like, oh, this is short or anything. You can specify however long you think it is or anything like that. It's fine. Just do make sure to put a link with the game so I know that's the specific one you're talking about. Or in case I have a hard time trying to find it and be like, I can't find it, and then if you put a link most of the time, I'll be like, oh, I found it. I've had that with one of the games. Off, I think. Off. If I didn't have a link for that, we probably never would have been able to play it. Unless somebody found the link and was able to provide it. But yeah, and then we also have some reaction streams we'll be doing. One of them's going to be Mandela Catalog. The other ones, I'm not too sure. We'll see. But Mandela Catalog is definitely for one. On Halloween specifically, I have no idea what we might be doing then. Also, potentially Slay the Princess as well, because that's going to be coming out on the 25th, I believe, the Pristine Cut. Which will have a lot more new content to it and things like that, so it'll be fun to return to that. I like returning to old games. I do. It's fun because we get to reminisce a little bit. Those that were there too before and got to see it the first time, or those that are new and like, hey, and all this, and I'm excited. I am excited. But yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions for me whatsoever, right now is the time to go ahead and put them in. Still have like 16 minutes before I'll go ahead and get started with the story. If you don't know what story I'm talking about, the past 3 chatting streams now, I think it's been, at the last hour of the stream, I've been telling this story that's kind of been continuing on. The story won't really make sense too much if you don't listen to the other ones. So you can listen to an hour. You can go back to the other ones and watch them. They take about an hour if you're curious about it or anything. But that's kind of what we've just been doing so far. So just a heads up about that. So if you have any questions now, anything else to talk about, right now would be the time to do it. But yeah, so right now though, for series game, we still have, like I said, the Valhalla Secrets that we're doing right now. Persona 3 Reload episode I guess the DLC we're doing, and the Refine Self, which honestly, Refine Self will only take one more stream. Just gonna be doing a little bit more world exploring, and if there's potentially, we'll try to see if we can get the other ending, or maybe we'll just watch the other ending. And see if there's anything else to do with that game, but just a little bit more world exploring and things like that instead of random nonsense of touch. I mean, everything we technically do is random nonsense, so you know. Hey, somebody sent a tip thing. I just saw that. Hold on. Where? What do you mean? I appreciate that. It's an anonymous one, but it says test 1 2 is this thing on. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah. So, just a reminder for those of you that might have just joined or anything like that, there is a new donation link if you would like to. So right now, I guess you could say it's more of an anonymous tipping if you want to do it that way, and also a proceed that all will go to me instead of YouTube taking a cut or anything like that. So it's down in the description. It's the very first link. It's through, you can do it through PayPal or other methods as well. I might do it to where it has an alert for at least the chatting stream. I might not. We'll see. I decide to do that, but I won't have it for alerts for during other stuff in games and things like that. Like I said, I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't. I guess somebody mentioned pretty good, like watching playthroughs of different games and everything, and you have those sound alerts. Like it really takes away from the experience of the game or anything like that. So I don't know. It's just something that I just don't like. So. Money. I mean, I always find it interesting, right? It's like when like people talk about money and like they're whole thing like, oh, I'm not doing this for the money and things like that, and like, oh, it's bad for it to be like that. It's like, all right. It's like those are the people where I'm like, I mean, you have your charities and things like that, right? You do have your charities that are our goodwills and everything like that. It's like, but at the same time, it's like you do need money to keep the business going. So, I mean, technically, you kind of need it. It's not really something to be ashamed of. I don't know. I never really understood the whole being ashamed of it and being like having to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, no, it's like, it's not a bad thing. It can be bad, right? If I'm like shoving it down your throat and like, oh, you have to, or like make everything is exclusive to only like behind a paywall, then it's like that's where it starts to become like, I don't know. I've always kind of found that a little bit strange. Oh my god, my phone had the sticker on it this entire time, and I have never realized it until right now. Like the serial code and everything for it. And I was like, what is this sticker thing? And it's like, oh, that's what that is. And now it's on my table. My table is not special. It has its own little serial number and everything. Identification codes, perfect. Anybody what kind of phones does everybody have, right? Like, you have old phones, you have fairly new phones. Like what kind of phones do you guys have? I don't mean like go into specifics of being like, oh, I have like the you can't even name the most recent of phones. The 2024 or 2023 phone. I don't know, whatever they're called, okay? Use Apple or Android? Android. But like, do you guys have old phones, new phones, stuff like that? Do you try to keep your phones to last as long as possible, or is it, or are you kind of ones of like, as soon as you could trade it in, it's like, I traded in. Drinking. High five. An Android from the galaxies. I've always liked like the new versions of stuff, like the newest models, and like especially when they're like actually have something really cool to it, like something really different or really new to it that makes it spectacular. I'm not a camera person. I don't care about the cameras. I know there's always been this whole thing about is the Android camera look better than the iPhone camera or stuff like that. I've never cared about the cameras. I don't care about the camera quality. They can be whatever they want to be. It's like, but I don't know. I've always found like when they have like something really new about them, like it's interesting. Not that I feel like that I have to go get it, but it's like it's really cool, really interesting. But if it can last, I'm fine with this. If you don't know, if you just barely joined in, my phone broke. I on Thursday, the screen on my phone finally just died, like to the point that it's not even usable anymore. It was so sad. It was so sad. I had it since like 2016, 2017, and when it died, I was like, no! All of that information! So, now I had to get it. I traded it in. Tried getting it repaired. They basically told me, God, no. No, absolutely not. We want your money, but at the same time, for your own sake, no, just get a new one. I was like, okay. Gives up on me? Yeah. God, if my other one did not drop. Honestly, it was completely fine. It's just the screen broke, but to get the replacement for the screen is like too much money. And they're like, if like something else gives out on it, they're like, it's gonna cost you even more. And I'm like, make a sound argument, dang it. I hate it. I don't like it. I mean, they've done it better, especially when you're getting like from the same brand, especially with Androids. What I learned is when you're transferring your data over, it's easier now with the programs they have. It's like literally almost it literally just like carbon, like copy and paste it right onto your carbon. Carbon, yes, copy and paste it into your other phone. It's like practically the same exact thing, I was so very happy. But no, I had to wait like 5 hours. I stood there for 5 hours just da 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 da. Like, I hate everything. Oh. I don't know their phones. S7. Just for the Galaxies. Keep it until it gives up. Yeah. An old phone. Use it anymore since it's outdated. I have my old phone too. I have an old iPhone. I think it's on an iPhone 4, I believe. And I have a couple of like old Samsungs. I can't tell you what names they are. I don't remember what models they have and everything, but yeah. I have a lot of the older phones. We even have, I don't know where it is anymore. There is a phone that is, it's not a flip phone, but it's like, I think it's like right after them or something. They're called the Blackberry or something. They almost look like miniature calculators. It's the best thing I could describe. Blueberry? Blackberry. It's a berry. Yeah. Blueberry. I love that. Yeah. It's called the Blackberry. We have it around here somewhere. I love that thing. I do. I love it. It used to be my great grandmother's. And I think then it became she gave it to my mom or something. And then now I have it. I think it's in one of the drawers that we have. But yeah, I was so not wanting to get a new phone. I was like, repair the screen, and they're like, we can, but it's gonna be this much. I was like, oh god. It's like because I had first, like, so thankfully one of the other phones, I was able to get it up and running and everything, and I connected to the Wi-Fi so I can make phone calls. And I was like, all right, it's like, I need somebody who's gonna repair the screen on this thing. And they're like, oh, we can repair it. And I was like, oh, perfect. And they're like, this is how much. I was like, that's expensive. But you know what, I'll do it. Then I went over and they're like, actually, we have to order the part, and it's gonna cost us this much, and it's gonna take us this long, and then we have to do that. And I was like, well, great. And they're like, basically, don't do it, go trade it in. I was like, okay. So yeah. How much? Expensive. Really, really expensive. Basically, it was going to be the price of a new phone. It's going to be a price of a new phone, okay? That's basically how much they said it was practically going to be. So I was like, oh, shoot. And then, like I said, they said like the whole thing. And it is true, right? It's, if another part of it gets out, and one, you lost the investment going into that phone, and even if you do try to get another replacement for that part is just going to be as much or maybe even more. And who knows what else got damaged when it dropped, because like I said, I dropped that thing so many times. I've dropped it on the street, I've left it in so many areas, I've left it everywhere. It has been through so much, and the fact that it finally broke, I have to say, that phone is amazing with how much it went through. If I didn't drop it as much, I bet you that thing would have lasted forever. Mind you, I was even playing like the Honkai Star Rail game and everything on it and everything. And it ran just fine. It ran perfectly. It finally croaked. Their phones. Oh yeah. What other, like, because I mean, there's Google, right? They have their phone. There's like a lot of other companies that have a lot of different. Oh, that's the music. I was hearing this like sound, and I was like, what the heck is happening? It's the music in this game. That's a weird sound. It sounds like somebody has a high pitch. God, I can't speak. High-pitched vacuum just in the background. Right? Okay, it finally went away, the music. That was a really weird just sound. I don't know. Maybe it's just my ears playing tricks on me or something. But I swear I just heard a high-pitched vacuum in the background. Anyways. I don't remember what I was going to say. Alright, we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, so go ahead and get ready to start talking about the story. Somebody threw a flashbang. Oh god. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get ready to start on the story and everything. So I recommend if you were done with the chatting stream and not interested in story, then that's gonna be it for a whole talking session and everything. So that'll be then. The schedule is here and all that stuff, so it's gonna be completely normal. Next stream we're just gonna be focusing on one of our other games, probably Refine Self or maybe Valhalla. We'll kind of end up seeing with that. And then, well, spooky month starting, we'll probably start throwing in some spooky games. So heads up about that. So it's gonna be a little interruption from our series games, but just a heads up about that. So yeah. How was your day? If I have a question, I'm tired. Very tired. And my day's not over. It's about to get real hectic very soon. So yeah. But yeah, so that's just kind of be a heads up for spooky month and everything. So if you're also part of the Believers tiers and the membership, it's the poll for the games that we'll be playing later on this month will be soon, as soon as I'm able to. Like I said, I'm just gonna be pretty busy, so as soon as I find a chance to, I'll have it up and all that. So yeah, so have fun. So for now, though, what we're going to be doing is basically we're just going to be having talking about the story, picking up from the last time that we left off. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, in the last stream, in the last chatting streams, at the last hour, I've been kind of continuing the story. The story is kind of going to not make too much sense if you don't listen from the previous ones. So this one is kind of going to be like, you kind of technically have to watch at least the other one. I don't know, maybe I said that too for the other one too, but yeah. So that's what we'll be doing this last hour. So if you're done with the chatting stuff and we're just here for the sitting and talking and stuff like that, that'll be done. So we'll be moving on to the story stuff. So everybody grab something to drink, grab something to eat, sit down, get ready to chill and everything. I'm going to go use the bathroom and I'll be right back and we'll go ahead and get started. So yeah, I'll be right back. Oh yeah, I can use my my waiting screen thing. All right, see you guys in a little bit. All right, I am back. We'll go ahead and get ready for the story. I tried my best in making it. I did what I could with Filmora and all that. I don't know how to edit animated and things and stuff like that. So I tried my best with it. Hopefully it turned out as good as I could. She'll watch them one day. That's not it's fine. Anyways, I'll go ahead and get started with it. So just let me know how the music volume is and everything. I won't be really reading chat too much anymore, so just a heads up about that. I'll be talking about the story, continuing off from the last time we left off, so get ready. Hopefully you all have your snacks, something to drink, or just listening in the background. Think of it like an audiobook or something, whatever you want to think of it. I'm going to turn down the music volume just a tad bit. Hold on, let me wait for it to hit a peak so I can tell. Okay. I think that should be a good volume. If it's too loud, just let me know in chat and I'll try to keep an eye out for that. Alright. Well, anyways. Here we go from the last time that we left off. Hope stood by the counter, flipping through the different images she had accumulated during her time here. With the other mercenaries, now the number was only down to 3. Well, technically 2, considering one of them was just the scriptwriter. As Hope went through each of the images, seeing the comrades that she had lost from before, all that could go through her mind was just the reminder that they were lost. Once again, she lost them all, and all she could curse were the gods that ripped them away. She swore she didn't want to do this again, go down this road of slaying them. But here she was, the blade to slay them, unsheathed and in her hands once more. Flipping through each of the images, the photos taken at random. At the time, Hope thought of them as foolish. A bunch of mercenaries taking pictures. What a joke. But now they're just reminders of moments she wished she appreciated more. I'm getting ready for another assignment. Apparently, Hope's fellow long-lost friend that had forgotten about them, their crew, is going through another trouble themselves, with one of their fellow members dead as well. And the others, well, Hope didn't look into it too much, but it didn't seem good. Seemed from all over the world, the galaxy even. Everything was falling apart. Worlds were being destroyed, stars exploding, taking out other worlds surrounding them. It was almost like the end of the world was coming for them all. Or rather, the end of the galaxy. I mean, nothing lasts forever, right? Then, Hope could hear the door slide open behind. The footsteps knowing all too well. Her teacher was coming back. Another report, probably. Teacher and Hope hadn't talked so much. Not after everything that happened, especially with, well, after the incident at the beach. Things had gotten awfully quiet with her teacher. But Hope couldn't really blame her. How could she? They all changed. Every single one of them. Hope's teacher finally speaks up. Hope, I have another assignment here. It says we are to depart in 4 system hours. But I say let's make it 6. Hope froze, stopped flipping through the pictures. How odd. Never once heard her own teacher want to postpone a mission. Usually, if anything, she expected to hear in 2 system hours, but 6 instead of 4. Hope slowly turns back around to face the teacher. They realized at that moment, she hadn't seen her face since then. The teacher's face looked cold, wary. Not the woman she knew before. Not the one with the confident smirk, the knowledgeable eyes, with no fear behind them. Just that knowing smile, knowing glint, and everything was in the palm of her hands. No, it stood before her. Well, she couldn't even recognize it anymore. She's sure that the same look is probably on herself. 2 broken mercenaries. What a joke. Hope realizes that her teacher is not looking at her face, but rather in her hand. How odd. What is she? Oh, it makes sense. Hope's teacher is looking at her blade. The blade she kept hidden from everyone else. Covered under bandages, wrapped away. I mean, it's a story from a distant past, a previous life that no longer exists. Of course, she kept it hidden for so long, hoping to abandon it. But now, after everything that's happened, here she was going down the same path again. Yet her teacher said nothing. Her eyes keep traveling back to it, but not a word. At this point, Hope didn't know what to say. She'd tell the story about it, explain what is going on, or keep her mouth shut as she always has. They all have secrets, and many of them have taken it to their grave. Would this be one she'll take as well? You said 6 system hours instead of 4, or even 2. Tell me why, teacher, Hope says to her teacher. It stuns them both, actually. Hope is never one to even question any orders, especially if they were coming from her teacher. If she said jump, she asked how far. If she said to make a fire, and ask how much oil. It's always, always, always the answer. But this time, she questioned it. Why? Was it because everything else was changing, or who cares anymore? It's clear that this galaxy is dying. It's clear that this universe is returning to nothingness. What doesn't matter? Teacher responds to Hope. If we go in 4 system hours, as we're ordered to, everything will go just how the script is written. Which, after reading it, I say, maybe just this once, let's not follow it. And if we go in 2, well, we'll just be speeding up the ending, won't we? At that, Hope dropped all the pictures in her hand as they fell to the ground. Her teacher, wanting to deviate from the script, wanting to deviate from the orders written to them. Did her teacher hit her head? Is she a clone? Something actually happened to her actual teacher, or... So many possibilities ran through her head. She wanted to know the answer. What happened? Yet all Hope could do was laugh. Not with a smile. No. Not one at all. The most stone-cold face. Without a single smirk, even. Laughter that you could ever imagine. Was it a deprecating laugh? Who knows? But as she did, she realized something. This truly is the end. She's tasted it before. She's seen it before. And it's always so bitter. What else could she do but laugh? Even at this point, her own teacher, who's been so stuck to the rules, to this order of things, no matter how chaotic it is falling off the edge. Hope sits down by the counter, pats the seat next to her, and she just stares at the photos down on the floor. Her teacher walks by, careful not to step on a single one. She sits down next to her. Both of them just looking down at the floor, looking at each individual picture. All the way from ranging before Hope had even joined this group, to when her old lost friend who had made the promise to make her smile before she had lost her memories and now was working with the enemy. The picture from then, another picture afterwards, a reuniting picture between those two and even her old partner. All the way till the most recent one. The one right after their deaths. Yes, Hope took a picture of every single one of the funerals for them. At least what they could do for mercenaries that are wanted by every single world. It was honestly more disgraceful than it would be just to pretend they were still alive, see the bounties being taken down, show that they were already finished. Not hearing a word, even claiming that they killed them. Who could? Every one of their deaths had to be reported as a mystery. No organization could take claim for it, because there was not any organization that did. No. It was the gods. But the question was, why? Why would they even bother? As Hope stared at every single one of the images, even going to the one she found from her teacher's drawer, with the woman in the picture, and her teacher younger in years. That woman now dead, and maybe even dare say, the teacher she knows in that image probably died right along with her at that beach. Hope was curious as to what happened when the woman's crew found her? Did they blame them? He knows that there was no final words that the woman could have said. No. Hope was there in her final breath. Hope looks to her arm. Looks at the dead skin on her right arm. Something that looks so otherworldly. Disgusting, even. To touch is touching a reptile's skin, yet cold as ice. You tap it, you expect to hear a squish. Some even say you expect to hear a metallic clink, or even something as hard as a rock. And yet, every person that has ever touched this arm has always described something different. And in the end, all they can say is when they do, it strikes fear into their hearts. It makes the hairs on the back of their neck stand up. This is Hope's blade. The blade that has slayed many gods before, and will slay them now. Hope can feel Teacher's eyes staring at her arm, looking at it. Suddenly, Hope says, I have a story to tell you, Teacher. If we have 6 system hours before we have to head out and conclude the story, then allow me to waste these 6 hours. Let me tell you a story about this arm, about this blade. Story of a distant past that is forgotten, yet a sacrifice greater than any man can make. But Teacher, promise me when I tell you this story, you won't see me in a different light. Teacher's eyes move from her arm back down to the photos on the floor, looking at each individual one, hearing Hope's words, the sincerity in them. She can tell. You can tell Hope is destroying everything she built up, every defense, every wall, every belief, every moral she ever believed in. Truly, what a human thing to do in the face of the end. Hope's eyes focus on the Teacher's face, following every trace, every curve, every wrinkle, every crease, watching her eyes gaze from one picture to another. Never understood this woman completely. Maybe she never will. Yet this moment, here and now, she's never felt more at ease in the face of this woman, in the face of her teacher. Finally, her teacher's eyes land on the old photo with herself in her younger years, and the woman who is now dead. There was not a tear, a sign of sadness, regret, or anger, or anything. Not even a smile or a smirk, or even an acknowledgement. But at that, Hope's teacher said, Let us waste away at these 6 hours then. I'll pour us a drink, and you start talking. And that Hope leans back into the counter, sitting in the chair, her head leaned back, looking up at the ceiling. Closes her eyes and starts to reminisce about a story in the past. It happened many, many years ago. One that she herself didn't get to witness personally, but a story she'll never forget. There was a child. Lived an ordinary child's life. Born at a hospital. Delivered with ease. Lived a normal life. Was raised by parents. Had a loving family. Went to school. Earned high grades. Everything was normal for this child. There came a point for this child where things started to turn. Hell started to approach, and everything started to shatter in front of them. They bent to their knees, slammed into the ground, screaming and yelling for help. It came from the shadows. Help. I can help you, child. I can teach you how to smile. I can teach you how to play. I can teach you the joys of life and help you escape from this pain. Just let me be your puppet and enjoy the story from the background. And I'll show you a world better than what you are seeing now. With it, the child agreed. All the child would have to do is sleep. Sleep every night, and sleep well, and enjoy this peace from the chaos that existed in the child's life. As such, as the child closed her eyes, almost as if watching from a board game, looking over the place, they would watch their shadowy hero roam in these lands. Whether it was to be a king, whether it was to be a warrior, a knight, or even just a baker, or a digger. Whatever it is that the shadowy hero was meant to be, they would. Were they to be part of a family? Were they to be part of friends? Were they to be a loner? Were they to be there to save the world? Would they be there to simply save a friend? To sit there and listen to other stories? Shadowy hero was there for it all. To be the puppet to the child's whims. To experience a world that they are denied to see. And with it, the child grew stronger and stronger. But they were not stronger in the face of reality, but only stronger in their mind, in an escape, in their imagination. Eventually, as the child grew older, so too did the shadowy hero. However, one day, in the child's dreams, the shadowy hero was faced with a great dilemma. They were surrounded by their friends and family, everything that they ever loved. The universe was in grave danger. They would have to sacrifice their loved ones in order to save the entire universe. With that, the child's conflicted on what to have their puppet do. Do I have them sacrifice their friends? Do I try to find an alternative to save them all? What do I do? What do I do? Continuously, the child kept thinking it over and over and over. Started having nightmares of it. The dreams started to become more demented in a way. They could never get past over this hump. The shadow figure would sit there and watch. Watch the child think about what next action to have them do. They realized at this point that the puppeteer was no longer smiling. Instead, they stayed up at the earliest of hours in hopes to never fall asleep again, to never be faced with that confrontation. Shadowy Hero had grown fond of this child. Too fond, even. They did not like seeing this. To know that this decision was completely eating at them. It was eating at them as the shadowy figure as well. Finally, the child could no longer stay awake and fell asleep once more. As they opened their eyes, there was silence. An eerie, eerie silence. As they looked around, over and over, for any sign of a soul, there was nothing. The streets that were filled with laughter were silent. The homes that were filled with warmth were silent. The galaxy that was bustling with noises was silent. It was almost if a void has come in and swallowed it all whole. Finally, when the child closed their eyes and opened them, they found themselves as a chess piece in the game. They looked straight ahead and saw their shadowy hero once more, standing before them, covered in blood. The child said to their hero, "What have you done?" Shadowy hero looked confused. "I saved you. Now you won't have to deal with this decision. We can start over again, do what needs to be done. And maybe this time we can avoid a choice like this again." The child screamed in horror, realizing what their hero has done. Realizing that even in this imaginary world, even if it was all fake, it was silent. Cold, deadly silent. They screamed and screamed and screamed. The shadowy hero just stood there confused as to why the child was screaming. Shouldn't they be happy? It's just fake after all. None of it's real. Why are they screaming? Finally, the screams startled the child awake. The mother had come into the room and shook them. Apparently, they actually were screaming in their sleep as well. "What happened, dear? What happened?" the mother said. And all the child could do was sit there and cry. They felt as if they lost everything. Those friends in this dream, family that they have made in the dream, even the entire universe that they did not even know. They mourned for it. It was too much. And that every single night they'd stay up without getting a wink of sleep, forcing themselves to stay awake. At the times that They would find themselves slipping into sleep. They drag themselves and keep their eyes opened. They blast their ears with loud music as much as possible to keep themselves awake, to startle them with noise. They didn't want to see their shadowy hero again, to see the monster that they have become. And deep inside, the child knew the only one they could blame was themselves. I created that monster. They did only what they thought was right. Because in the end, they only cared about me. And I never taught them how to care about others. But the child refused to acknowledge this. It would be too much. Every time they find themselves slipping into the abyss, they'd see their shadowy hero again, standing there, wanting answers. They'd create a world again and try to drag the child into it. But the child would run away, not wanting to look behind and see him. Every time they sleep, they'd see all the different worlds that could be. Every single one of them. They turn back around and run and run and run. Finally, there came a day where the child could no longer run. They were tired and they were scared. And they finally realized they couldn't do this again. That they were the ones to blame for their hero to fall so far. They don't deserve this. They don't deserve this at all. What can I do to make this right? What can I do to save them? And in that moment, the child created something. Created something that they put their hopes and dreams into. Gave life to it. And begged, please, please save my old friend. And they did. They did everything they could. Just as the shadowy hero had done before, they lived in these fantasy worlds. Built friends, family, allies, and enemies. Constantly would run into the shadowy hero. At first, this creature was opposed to it, did not trust, but remember the words of their creator. To them, the creator's happiness was worth everything. The beating heart in their chest did not belong to them, but belonged to the child's hopes and dreams. Then, as many, many years went by, there came the end to that story. Apparently, it was a calm, bright, sunny day. There was no sign of the end coming at all. Children were laughing and playing. Old friends united and talking. Family members telling stories and bonding. This creature with a stolen heart was watching it all with their own friends, enjoying the day. Yet every breath they took, every step they took, every smile they wore, I knew it was to be their last soon. But they said nothing to their friends, to their family. The child that created them could not hold on much longer. At this, it was eating at them. To this creature, they couldn't do that. They made a promise to save an old friend, and that they would. Without saying a word to their family and friends that they made along this journey, they turned around and kept walking as far as they could without turning back. The scenery changed completely on them. The whole scenery was nothing but white, a bright, blinding white. At their feet would walk and it sounded like water. But as they looked down, they could see the effect of what water would look like, but it was all blinding white. There was not a sound in the area other than the sounds of walking through water. It was silent. As the creature turned back round, they can see the child's old friend, the shadowy hero, standing there. Their cloak wore holes in them, their eyes cold and emotionless, otherworldly. A form they had adopted over the years, getting stronger and stronger. Apparently, the battle was great. Words were rarely exchanged between the two. If you could call it a battle, maybe that's what it was. Was it a battle of life and death? Was it a battle between old friends, a replacing friend? A lover's spat. Siblings going at it. A parent and a child screaming at each other. It's hard to say unless you were actually there. You could probably describe it better. But what I do know is that it was heartbreaking. Every punch thrown felt like it carried the weight of the world. Every gunshot rang the final bells of a dying world. Every spear pierced, every sword slashed. Everything. If you were to witness it, you would probably never be the same again. As the creature lay there defeated, knowing that there was no way they could beat something from the abyss, the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and end. I mean, how do you beat a shadow, after all? This creature stood there, looking at their broken body, not knowing how to stand up. They thought to themselves, "Master, I'm sorry, but I do not know how to save your old friend." And at that moment, it dawned on the creature just how. The master didn't even know, and the shadowy hero in front of them didn't even know that they needed to be saved. A heart-wrenching story of old friends turning into enemies, when in the end, they never meant to harm each other. This creature of hopes and dreams, of ambition, smiled. They knew exactly what they needed to do. As they stood up one more time, the shadowy figure with barely any wounds, none of them even grave, turned back around to face this creature. Not wanting to even say a word, feeling as if it was a waste of breath on something like this. Yet no matter how much hatred this shadow tried to put into their words, their feelings for this creature, I knew they could never mean it. After all, this is the child's creation. But for what and for why? The shadow didn't know. Didn't realize what was about to happen would change everything. Suddenly, without any warning, it ran. It ran straight at the shadow. They had these appendages crawling from out of their back. They almost looked like that of a spider's leg. They're very threatening and could pierce through a human body like nothing, even pierce through steel, as if it was paper. At this, the shadow thought this would be their last hope. And yet, all it did was wrap around the shadow and pull them into a hug. The shadow stood there, still and stiff, shocked, as the creature rested their head against their chest. It cried into their shoulder, crying and crying, holding them close with what they could. Their arms could no longer work, so this was their best choice. Careful to make sure the appendages would not pierce the shadow in any way. The shadow spoke. "What are you doing?" Finally, the creature could speak. "Keeping my promise. You two are both such idiots." At that, the shadow wrapped their arms around this creature. A hug. They'd only ever seen it, but never experienced one themselves. The creature then spoke. "I don't want to be forgotten. Please, don't forget me. I don't want to be just a gust of wind, a flicker of light. Please, please." "Remember me." The shadow closed their eyes. Their face felt wet. Why? Why did it feel wet? As they opened their eyes, there was nothing around. The creature was nowhere in sight. Small cuts and wounds on their body was all that bled. The only sound was the drip of blood falling into the watery floor. They stood there, confused. They touched their cheeks to feel their tears falling down. Remember me. I'm such a fool. My old friend. Forgive me. There's a kid, the child, laying on their bed, their body pale, their skin sunken in. You could see the bones, the skeleton popping through, the muscle gone and eaten away, deteriorating right before everyone's eyes, just laying on the bed. Creature looked at their master, distraught, with a small smile. Master, I kept my promise. Now I have a favor to ask you, Master. The creature walked up to the child laying there, not even knowing if the child could hear them. They reached into their own chest, pulled out their heart, and knelt down next to the child. Master, live a life for the both of us, please. You and your old friend are inseparable, as it should be. I envy her, and I envy you. But I was never meant to live forever, never meant to even make it to the next day, yet you made it possible. So I'm returning this to you, Master. And please, live a life proud for the both of us. And that, the creature stood back up, leaned over, touching their forehead against the child's, the heart in the hand, reached down over to the child's chest. As the heart dissolved into the child, the creature smiled and whispered, "Thank you, Master. Thank you. Thank you." The child opened their eyes. They could feel tears on their face, but why? Little spots, droplets. Yet their own eyes were not wet. They looked around. There was nothing. The light was still on in their room. They turned their head over to the PC monitor and saw it on. How strange, I thought I turned that off. As they went to stand from their bed, their body frail and sick, they were used to the weakness in their legs. But as they stood, they felt stronger. It was at the moment their hand reached over to their heart. The child fell to their knees and mourned. shadowy figure back in the room stood there. The white blinding walls, the ceiling, the void that goes on forever. They marched forward, swearing to themselves that they would forever remember that creature, and in hopes that they can find their puppeteer. They looked down to their arm and looked back up to see a sword standing in front of them, striking to the ground. As the shadowy figure looked even further, far beyond the sword, they saw a mass, an indescribable mass. It was not humanoid, nor was it just a blob. Was it any creature that could be described? No. Alien, otherworldly, godlike, yes. So this is the god of finality, is it? So be it. With that, the shadowy figure reached for the sword and pulled it out with ease, with her arm. Their arm felt strange to them, but they did not utter a word. The sword was long and heavy, and they dragged it behind them, the blade scraping across the watery floor as they walked closer and closer and closer to this god, to this finality. You stand between a new beginning and the end. You stand between the Alpha and the Omega. But lucky for you, Shadow doesn't know the end. Because even when it's all gone, we always remain. And I have a promise to keep. And with that, the shadowy figure lifted the blade, scraped it across the floor, and launched it straight at this thing. Promise. A promise to not forget someone is what caused the death of a god. Promise to keep a memory is what kept it going. I don't know what would have happened if that creature didn't give up their life. I don't know exactly even to describe what happened afterwards. Did a mere shadow truly swallow up a god? Did it only postpone it? It's coming. Did anything even truly happen? I don't know. But what I can answer you is this. The next time the child woke up to this world that we are in, to the world similar to the ones we are in, they were not alone. And the right arm, well, I truly do wonder what exactly that blade was. Because if you ask me, it wasn't as heavy as it looked. At that, the teacher nodded their head along with Hope's story as it comes to a conclusion. The system hours were almost up. Only an hour left before the end. So is that the story of your arm, Hope? Hope just smiled. It's a story. Now, is it true or not? Well, it depends on your belief of truth. Or at least your version of it. But to me, promise can do a lot. Especially when it comes to having to remember the dead. With that, Hope's teacher came to a resolution. As if she had been torn between two different choices. You could see a spark of her old teacher back. A determination behind those eyes that weren't there before. Hope didn't know what it was. Not at the time. Soon she would. Hope almost wonders what would have happened if she knew. With that, the both of them finished their drinks in one gulp, turned the glasses over upside down, and slammed them on the counter. So, Hope, what do you plan on doing with that arm? Hope looked back down to her arm, seeing the otherworldly texture of it. If it could happen once, a god of finality, then maybe it can happen twice. And with that, the teacher nodded her head. Grab whatever supplies you're gonna need, Hope. As this is the final job, so bring all your rounds for every gun you own. We're gonna need it for this. Oh, and one more thing, Hope. The teacher went and gathered all the pictures, coupled them nicely into a stack, and handed them over to Hope. Then looked Hope straight in the eyes and said, "Try to remember, okay?" And with that, the teacher walked out the door, leaving Hope to stand there on her own. She looked down at the stack of the pictures in front of her. Try to remember. Those words repeated in her mind over and over and over. So much meaning those words have. What could she say? As Hope stored the pictures back into her coat's pocket, I looked around the area. The lounging area used to be so full of life with all of them here before. And yet, it was silent. Hope smiled. Looked down at the two cups flipped upside down onto the counter. Turned back around and walked out. knowing something was watching her from behind, listening the entire time. But Hope didn't say a word to the creature, to the thing staring at her. No, it was not yet time to acknowledge it. Not yet. Hope went to her room to gather the supplies needed for their mission. Knew she had less than an hour to prepare. She kept the photos stacked to her pocket, safe. She realized that each and every one of them held a significance and an importance she'll never be able to forget, even if she wanted to. As she shoved them back into her coat's pocket and picked up her guns, strapped them on, picked up a blade, sheathed it, and holstered it over her shoulder. She looked around the room she used to share with her partner. She headed to the door, turned back around. Then walked back out without a single word. Unbeknownst to her, it'd be a very, very long time before she returned. 30 system hours before the final mission. And that's where we'll leave the story off for now. Anyways, we'll leave it there for now, and we'll pick it up again in on another chatting stream. So next time, later in October, we'll pick this up again. But for now, though, that's gonna be it for this story and also for this chatting stream. So hey. Anyways, though. Anyways. That is gonna be it. So just a reminder again that this is going to be the schedule behind me, so everything's going to be completely normal, all that kinds of stuff. So that'll be then. So Monday stream, I don't know, we'll be picking up, I don't know, Valhalla Refined. We'll pick up one of those two, and then we'll see. I don't know if on Tuesday we'll do anything. Probably not till like Wednesday or something. We'll get like we'll start officially with Spooky Month. I don't know. We'll kind of see. We'll see how things end up going. Just because Tuesday's my hard stop at 3 hours, so we'll see. We'll see. But Spooky Month is coming. Watching some watch along stuff and all sorts of things. So that'll be then. But anyways. Let me get my little list thing out so I can see everything. Alright. So let me go ahead and say thank you to those that were recently here. So thank you, Charlotte, for being here. Thank you, Tankathy. Thank you, Nako. Thank you, Marlon. Thank you, Tempai. Thank you, Gilroy's here. Thank you, Dazi. Thank you, Kodrin. That is as far back there as I can see. And also thank you, Lord, and thank you, Aris, as well. Thank you. Thank you to those that were previously here beforehand. Thank you to any lurkers, and thank you to my mods as well. Thank you. And thank you to those that help support the channel by being a part of the membership for Culture Roach. Thank you guys so very much for your help and support. Really do appreciate it. So thank you. Also thank you to those that are part of the Tier 3 membership or believe us, being Alex Hughes, Thanos Master, Nathan Citron, EH, and Jackson Fox. Thank you guys so very much for your help and support. Thank you. Also thank you again to those that also help support the channel in other ways through donations. But once again, there is that link down in the description, the very first one, if you want to help out that way as well. I would very much appreciate it. Also, there is a link to Valhalla Jill body pillow thing and down in the description. It's not me, it's just my cousin has shown it to me, and I thought, oh cool. And there's not really too much Valhalla merchandise, so just to let you guys know, it exists if you guys want it. It's down there. So if it should be the second link. I have it titled as Valhalla body pillow or something like that. So if you want to see it, if it interests you anyway, so that's down in the description too. But yeah. So thank you guys so very much for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna go crash in bed so I can be energized for later. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.